We've got another DFB viewer request coming your way. This one to rank every single country in EPCOT's World Showcase Pavilion. Now, this is going to be tricky. It is basically fraught with peril and a bunch of minefields, but I think the team and I have figured it out. So the real question is, are you going to agree with our top 3 rankings? Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Recently, we had a couple of comments in our past EPCOT videos asking us to rank every country in EPCOT's World Showcase Pavilion, and well, we thought that sounded like a really fun challenge, if not completely fraught with peril, like I said. So while we definitely encourage you to visit all of EPCOT's 11 represented pavilions while you're there, we're going to rank each location from good to the very best of the best to show you which pavilions really steal the show when it comes to food and entertainment, stores, and little hidden gems you won't find anywhere else. Now, let me just ask you, for these first few, please hear me out. They're at the bottom for a reason, but it doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that there's better pavilions out there. Okay, so we're going to start with Morocco. Now, despite Morocco being at the bottom of the list, there's still a lot to love about it. For starters, it's probably the most chill and beautiful pavilion you're going to come across. There's a lot of little pockets of peace, perfect for an afternoon escape from the crowds and heat, and all those different escapes are surrounded by gorgeous architecture with colorful, intricate tiling that'll really make you feel immersed in this area. At select times of the year, there's an annual pass holder lounge that'll sometimes pop up inside the old Restaurant Marrakesh building, giving APs yet another place to escape, as well as free refreshments, rare character meet and greets, and lots of crisp air conditioning to enjoy. And even though Restaurant Marrakesh is no longer around as of right now, you can still book easy to snag reservations at Spice Road Table, which is a tapas-style restaurant featuring Mediterranean cuisine and lovely window views across World Showcase Lagoon. This is also one of the 2 locations where you can book a fireworks dining experience for EPCOT's nighttime spectacular, Luminous, the Symphony of Us, for VIP fireworks views and a meal made up of shareable small plates. But even if you don't decide to eat at Spice Road Table, because let's be real here, those more adventurous flavors won't be for everyone, you can always stop by the Oasis Sweets and Sips stand to pick up a frozen cocktail like the frozen mint tea, which can be spiked or not, or one of the many Moroccan pastries on offer. We love the frozen mint tea here so much that we actually shouted out in our free Drink Around the World downloadable map, which you can pick up before your trip right now by scanning the QR code you see on the screen or by clicking on the link in today's video description for disneyfoodblog.com/worlddrinks. But anyway, the Morocco Pavilion also frequently hosts Princess Jasmine for an uncommon meet and greet opportunity at select times throughout the day. And I think the Morocco Pavilion is cozy as cozy can be. But if you're not eating at Spice Road Table or sitting down for a bit to get some henna art done, you could easily see this entire pavilion in less than 15 minutes. There's only one little side shop that you can buy trinkets from. There aren't any rides unless you count the driving simulator inside the Race Against the Sun exhibit, and shows are pretty sparse here, although they do sometimes happen on the stage outside the pavilion. Our wish is that something new will someday come to the Morocco Pavilion to spice it up a bit beyond the already spiced Spice Road Table. But for now, we'll just enjoy using this pavilion as a little breather before making our way over to the other pavilions that have a whole lot more going on. Now, these next 2, I'm having a hard time ranking between each other because I've got Italy and Canada, and I feel like they're pretty evenly matched. But let's throw Italy here under the bus just because I love Le Cellier so much. Okay, so Italy. The Italy Pavilion is, once again, a pavilion that might not have lots of rides or shows going on, so it might not be too terribly thrilling for the younger kids of your group. But your kids will at least appreciate the high-quality pizza here that you can find at Via Napoli table service or at the Pizza El Taglio grab-and-go window when it's open. So there's actually more for your kids to check out here than this pavilion initially lets on, though. Like, they might be chosen to help master juggler Sergio during his Streetmosphere performance, or they could create their own Venetian mask inside La Gemma Elegante, or they can order an authentic gelato treat from the nearby La Gelateria Toscana. And for all you adults out there, a trip to Italy could be the perfect opportunity to grab a seat at the Tutto Gusto wine cellar for a quick antipasto and over 200 choices of quality wines to sip on. Quick warning, friends, unless you're splitting a whole pizza pie at Via Napoli with your group, the food at the Italy Pavilion tends to be pricier than food you find in other pavilions. And the quality isn't always worth the extra price bump up either, especially during the festivals when Italy's booths tend to feature some of the highest priced items, but not very huge quantities that make it worthwhile. Much like Morocco, if you're not eating at a restaurant here, you can probably knock out this pavilion pretty fast, since the gift shops are fairly small and tend to get crowded. That being said, still love the vibes, still love the architecture, still love the pizza and wine, and love ogling all the different Venetian masks on display, and especially watching the mask maker do his incredible artwork. Okay, Canada. The land of hockey and maple syrup probably would have ranked even higher on today's list if it had made a more exciting show than what Canada Far and Wide will give you, or if it had more, literally any quick service options on offer. But I really can't complain too much about this pavilion because I could easily plop myself down on a bench here and just spend hours soaking up the serene vibes while hanging out right next to that lovely cascading waterfall. When it actually exists, it's been under refurb a lot lately. Now, the Canada Pavilion has one gift shop, the Canadian Trading Post, and while it isn't huge, it still has a few fun finds like unique packaged treats, customizable leather bracelets, and plaid. Lots and lots of Blackwatch plaid. And take a look at those giant totem poles in the area. The totem you see in the Canada Pavilion are made up of a variety of symbols representing Indigenous tribes. The idea is to capture the spirit of Canada's Indigenous peoples while telling their stories through the painted and carved art. Oh, and let's not forget about the impressive Victoria Gardens on the lower level of this pavilion, which are inspired by the real gardens near Victoria, British Columbia. And don't forget to grab yourself some of that exclusive maple popcorn before grabbing a seat at one of the outdoor musical performances that'll take place just outside the pavilion on a fairly regular basis. By the way, the maple popcorn is part of the popcorn bucket refill deal, don't you know? Now, I think that's everything. No? Nothing else to talk about here? I'm just pulling your leg. If y'all have been following this channel for a while, then you already know that Le Cellier Steakhouse is probably my favorite signature restaurant in not just EPCOT, but across all of Disney World property. If I have a free afternoon and I have to find some place to eat, I will usually end up at Le Cellier. Now, this teeny tiny restaurant is themed to look like an intimate wine cellar with low lighting and all, so it might not be the most popular choice for you if you're traveling with a bunch of little kids. But between the steakhouse cuts and the classic poutine and the Canadian cheddar cheese soup, I always kick myself if I miss out on another opportunity to chow down on all those gloriously tasty items because they are just that consistently good. You're gonna get tired of me talking about just how pretty all these pavilions are, but come on, just look at the China Pavilion and tell me you're not gonna take a zillion pictures of the Temple of Heaven. This architecture is so vibrant and stunning and hard to look away from. Honestly, I might even go as far as to say this is the most picturesque pavilion across the World Showcase. Maybe Morocco, but maybe, I don't know, maybe China. Regardless, the China Pavilion could take you longer to explore than several of the other pavilions we've mentioned so far, just for the House of Good Fortune gift shop alone. I always find so many unique things to take home with me, so many great gifts for people. This is also, I know a lot of you have heard this story already, but it's also where I got that beautiful green silk blazer that I actually wore to some pretty fancy business meetings when I lived in New York City, and people loved it and they're like, "Where'd you get that?" And I'm like, "Disney World." Anyway, the China Pavilion is also home to the Shanghai Disneyland exhibit, which you're going to find tucked away inside House of the Whispering Willows to the left of the Temple of Heaven. I love looking at all the little displays in this exhibit, but I also say it's one of the best places around World Showcase to catch your breath and get some AC and relax in a super quiet environment. Now, the Temple of Heaven is beautiful to behold both inside and out, but the show you're going to find on the inside is fine at best. Once upon a time, the Reflections of China was supposed to get an update, but it seems Disney's put that project on the back burner indefinitely, along with like that Great Mary Poppins Cherry Tree Lane thing they were going to do, right? Remember that? Anyway, while the China Pavilion's biggest strengths are its shopping opportunities and architecture, it sometimes struggles in the dining department. The Nine Dragons table service isn't bad by any means, it's just not as memorable as several of the other restaurants you're going to find around the World Showcase. It's basically what you're going to find at your sit-down Chinese restaurant at home. And the Lotus Blossom Cafe has food that I'd put in the same category as, again, what you're going to find at your local takeout restaurant at home. It's going to fill you up, but it's not going to leave you with any sort of lasting impression beyond the getting fed part. If you're going to pick up a quick bite to eat or something to drink, your best bet inside the China Pavilion is the Joy of Tea kiosk, which is one of the few places on Disney property that offers bubble milk teas. This is also where you're going to find the Tipsy Ducks in Love boozy beverage, which we love not just for the name, but because it's made with bourbon and black tea and coffee and cream and chocolate. Now, this next one, United Kingdom, I'm very torn about putting this here or putting it after the American Adventure. I don't know. I think I'm just an Anglophile. I just love the UK in general, so I'm kind of partial to this one. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about the United Kingdom Pavilion. You've got concerts in that backyard gazebo, classic red phone booth photo ops. You have a stinking hedge maze in there. Yeah, I'm a big fan. And I'm particularly a big fan of the comfort food you're going to find at Rose and Crown Pub, which serves up hearty dishes of UK classics like bangers and mash and shepherd's pie. Although the shepherd's pie has beef in it, so just a heads up, it's not real shepherd's pie. Anyway, they also have fish and chips on the menu, but you can get a cheaper version of essentially the same thing over at the neighboring Yorkshire County Fish Shop window. Now, Rose and Crown is the second location that offers dining fireworks packages for the Luminous show, which your group may enjoy even more if you're on the hunt for familiar comfort food versus the more adventurous options you might find with the fireworks package at Spice Road Table. Rose and Crown's main dining room is only open during dinner, so there is a lack of food options in the UK if you're visiting this pavilion around lunchtime, unless you got a hankering for a fish and chip basket. But the Rose and Crown Pub area opens at 10:30 a.m. sharp, giving you the chance to pick up cocktails, beers, and other spirits while you're on the go all day long. Little warning though, this pub gets crowded with a capital C, so don't be surprised if it takes you a bit before you find an opening at the bar to place your order. Also, I've got a little issue with the Rose and Crown Pub menu. It used to have a lot more options and now it's only got like 5. So if you don't want bangers and mash or that beef infused shepherd's pie, it's hard to find something. I wish they'd have more stuff on the menu. Anyway, the other issue with this pavilion, no rides, no attractions. But Winnie the Pooh, Alice, and Mary Poppins do like to swing by this pavilion for the occasional meet and greet, which is still a huge treat for all ages. They also have some UK specific candy over in the shopping area, and you can find your family crest based on your name, and that's exciting, right? Right. Do you need to necessarily rope drop this pavilion? No, but you should spend a little extra time here just to enjoy the easygoing atmosphere, especially inside those quirky UK gift shops and back in the hedge maze area. Nobody ever goes back there. It's always super quiet unless the band is playing. Now, while it might be more exciting if you're traveling from overseas, domestic guests might not be as thrilled with the American Adventure Pavilion just because it takes us out of the whole I'm traveling around the world mindset for a minute and drops us right back into where we began, America. However, don't be discounting what the American Adventure Pavilion can offer you because this pavilion's actually got some pretty cool stuff going on. The main attraction inside it is the American Adventure Animatronics Show, which is a 30-minute production that takes you through multiple key moments in American history and has some of the greatest original EPCOT music ever. Now, is your kid going to be absolutely thrilled to sit through this show? Probably not, unless they're me in 1982 EPCOT. But it's still fascinating and it'll give you lots of refreshing AC in an indoor building for the next half hour. So even if you accidentally wind up taking a quick cat nap here, we're not going to judge. Honestly, what I enjoy even more than the main show itself, though, is the pre-show where you can listen to the Voices of Liberty a cappella group in the rotunda. And off to the right of the rotunda is a little side exhibit that you can check out even when the show isn't happening, called the American Heritage Gallery, showcasing lots of art and culture throughout the different displays. To the left of the American Adventure Show, you're going to find one of my favorite quick services park-wide, maybe even in all of Disney World, and that's Regal Eagle Barbecue, hosted by Sam Eagle himself to provide some hearty barbecue eats from the American regions that specialize in this stuff. And to the right of the show, you're going to find a little art gallery called the Art of Disney, where you can pick up some prints and postcards or even a full-on Disney figurine to add to your display cabinets back home. And to the right of that are some of the best spacious and underrated bathrooms, just saying. But depending on what time of year you visit, the American Adventure Pavilion might be the busiest pavilion across the entire World Showcase because of its outdoor America Gardens Theater that frequently hosts EPCOT Festival performances for popular music groups and Broadway stars and local talent. Now, this is also where you're going to be able to find the ultra in-demand candlelight processional that happens on select evenings throughout the holiday season, featuring a live choir, orchestra, and celebrity narrator who tells the story of Christmas. Ah, Germany. We will talk about caramel kusha. That's not the only reason to visit here, but that's one of the main reasons to visit here. Fresh caramel treats made in shop, they are hard to beat. But along with caramel kusha, you've also got Summerfest, which is a grab-and-go window with giant pretzels and the best pretzel bread pudding for under $5, as well as Biergarten, which is a full-on German buffet with lots of live music and dancing and prosting year-round. Germany isn't just known for its food, though. The shops here keep some rather eclectic souvenirs on their shelves, including items like cuckoo clocks and pickle ornaments and beer steins topped with authentic pieces of the Berlin Wall. Are they really? Who knows? But that's what they say they are. So when I say eclectic, I mean eclectic. Speaking of beer steins and fun souvenirs, each of the Germany snack windows and beer stands sell these EPCOT-specific beer steins that you can fill up with beer of your choosing. The beer steins capture the essences and architecture found around the Germany Pavilion. And while it's not going to be as sturdy as the real deal beer steins that you'll find in the shops, these plasticky ones are more affordable, and again, they're Disney-specific and World Showcase-specific, which is a whole lot of fun. And be sure to pay a visit to our good teeny-weeny friends over at the Tiny German Train Town. They're always up to some fun itty-bitty shenanigans over there. We even got shirts featured on dfbstore.com with the misadventures that we've seen happen in this miniature world. We call them the Tiny Train Town tragedies, like a giant squirrel attack. Now, while the tiny German village will keep your kids entertained for maybe a minute or two, and they're bound to find something that'll satisfy their sweet tooth at caramel kusha, this isn't exactly the pavilion that's going to keep the younger ones engaged for a super long time, especially since it's very beer-centric. Remember, you can get those liters of beer at Biergarten. But you might be able to convince them to stay for a little while longer thanks to the customizable souvenirs, like the glass art and coloring book cups, which are available inside the Glaskunst booth. Just barely missing the top 3 spot on our World Showcase ranking list is the Norway Pavilion. Now, this is the place where you're going to find the Frozen Ever After dark ride, a giant gift shop troll, the Stave Church where Loki and Thor hang out, not the Marvel characters, but the actual Norse gods, and, heyo, Hoptimists are for sale here. Okay, that last one's pretty new, and I'm not exactly sure how long Hoptimists will be on the Norway Pavilion shelves, but the DFB team and I are kind of obsessed with them at the moment, so I figured they deserve a mention. Norway seems like a tiny pavilion at first, but EPCOT really does pack a lot into this country. Not only can you ride Frozen Ever After, but you can also meet Anna and Elsa at Royal Summer House. Even the bathrooms are themed around Frozen, which is a nice touch. And if you're looking to meet other Disney princesses, you may want to book a meal over at Akershus Royal Banquet Hall for family-style Norwegian skillets served during breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as back-to-back princess meet and greets with some of your favorite Disney gals. Akershus can be a nice alternative to Cinderella's Royal Table in Magic Kingdom, since it tends to be easier to make reservations for, it's less expensive, and it gives you that full royal treatment just the same as CRT. But the place you're going to find me frequenting the most inside the Norway Pavilion is Kringle Bakery Og Cafe for its variety of unique Norwegian-inspired pastries. And if you're a coffee drinker, you may want to try the Viking coffee made with Bailey's Irish Cream Liqueur and Kimura Coffee Liqueur, along with coffee chocolate sauce and a coffee chocolate crunch garnish. Or if you order the Christoph Cafe instead, you'll get the same toppings on a regular frozen coffee for less than half the price of the Viking drink. Yep, I think you and the family are really going to get a kick out of the Norway Pavilion. You've got princesses, you've got a super popular ride, you've got great snacks, you've got a full table service meal. That Stave Church is super, super cool. And of course, you have that perfume that literally everybody tries on, so everyone in the World Showcase smells the same. Just keep in mind that you're not going to find any quick service locations in Norway that serve substantial on-the-go foods. It's either pastries or all you care to enjoy offerings. No other middle ground for you to choose from. And Frozen Ever After racks up those really long lines by midday. So if this is a priority ride for you and you don't want to wait forever and a day to board it, you'll want to either hit it up first thing in the morning for rope drop or during early theme park entry. Grab a lightning lane for Frozen Ever After if you're planning on investing in Disney's premium skip-the-line multi-pass service, or wait until Luminous is getting ready to start if the fireworks aren't as big a deal for you to see, since many of the people will be staking out their spot for the show instead of getting in line for a more end-of-night ride. Now, in third place, we've got the Japan Pavilion, which is not only home to several solid Japanese-inspired restaurants, but also the best World Showcase gift shop ever, in my humble opinion. The Mitsukoshi department store is an extensive shop with multiple rooms of Japanese pop culture collectibles, kawaii trinkets that'll look cute on your living room bookshelves, and so many packaged Japanese snacks. Like, how do you pick just one? Because I want to sample everything all the time. Towards the back of Mitsukoshi, you'll also find the Bijutsugan Art Gallery, which is a little side exhibit showcasing kawaii, Japan's cute culture. This gallery highlights kawaii household decor, lots of stuffed animals, and pop art that's colorful and intriguing and definitely worth checking out, especially since it's free to do it and there's lots of AC in there. And as you're exiting Mitsukoshi, you'll find a brand new gashapon section, which I am over the moon thrilled to see because my last visit to Tokyo Disney was, of course, filled with gashapon, so it only makes sense that these little token machines are also represented in Epcot's Japan Pavilion, even though they're way too expensive here. If you find some sort of self-control deep within your heart that prevents you from using all your stomach real estate on chocolate dip Pocky and green tea Kit Kats, then you're gonna want to try some of the food here. More than likely, the restaurant you'll want to jump to make reservations for will be Shikisai Sushi Izakaya, which is a table service with lots of different Japanese delicacies served in a dining room that constantly changes its decor to go along with the season. There are also hidden fireworks shows in the booths, which is very cool. Now, Tapenetto is another restaurant you can book reservations for in the Japan Pavilion, but I wouldn't prioritize this one over Shikisai. Not because it isn't good, but because it's similar to other hibachi-style restaurants you probably have back home. Now, if you're really wanting to get bougie with your meal, then Takumite is where it's at. This is a signature restaurant where you'll dine inside one of 5 beautiful rooms inspired by a natural element: water, wood, earth, stone, or washi paper, because apparently that's a natural element. Now, the dining here is omakase style, meaning it's a special multi-course experience where the entire meal has been curated by the chef. There are 2 different meal types you can choose. The Kiku meal includes a variety of omnivore options like sashimi and soups, wagyu beef roll, which is so good, especially with that additional citrus salt, a selection of desserts, and more. And the Hasu meal includes plant-based plates like fresh yuba, pickled daikon, bamboo shoot tempura, nigiri sushi, plant-based desserts, and more. Funny story, when I was in Tokyo a couple years ago, I went to a daikon festival, which I didn't even realize what it was, and I still don't really know what it is. So anyway, there you go. It's kind of like a radish. But just be prepared, because this is the most expensive meal in all of Epcot. Both Kiku and Hasu meals cost $250 per adult and $100 per child ages 8 to 12. Now, on the flip side, you could also choose to go the much cheaper quick service route and eat in the beautiful outdoor stroll garden setting over at Katsura Grill. Or you could snack or drink your way through the Japan Pavilion instead at places like Kabuki Cafe, which serves up that kakigori shave ice, classic savory sushis, and sake slushies for the adults. Between the shopping, the snacking, the dining, and the traditional Matsuritsa drum show that takes place in front of the 5-story pagoda throughout the day, the Japan Pavilion could quickly become one of the World Showcase pavilions you'll wind up spending some serious time in. Even though there are no rides here, kids will still love exploring this pavilion when they see their favorite non-Disney characters represented inside Mitsukoshi, like Pikachu and Totoro, Hello Kitty, and more. Note, despite how large Mitsukoshi is, this store can still get really, really crowded and make you feel like a sardine in a tin, especially when the weather starts getting bad and people are looking for a place to hide out. So don't be shocked if you walk through those sliding doors and find a sea of people greeting you on the other side. Now, taking home the silver today is the Mexico Pavilion, which already gets major points for being a place that provides the most shade and AC World Showcase wide. And that's because like 90% of this pavilion is inside the huge Mayan pyramid structure that greets you right when you enter the area. Once you enter the pyramid, you'll be transported into a night market featuring lots of shops, many of which have those beautiful hand-painted alebrilles, a relaxing boat ride called Grand Fiesta Tour starring the 3 Caballeros, the San Angel table service restaurant with waterfront views of the indoor boat ride, and what I consider to be one of my favorite places in Epcot, and that of course is La Cava del Tequila. A lot of people share my sentiment, so this little bar can get quite packed even at the start of the day when it opens at 11 a.m. So it's nice that La Cava also offers that walk-up margarita line in case you don't have the time to wait around for a table. Even outside the pyramid, the Mexico Pavilion continues to provide quality eats and drinks at spots like La Hacienda de San Angel, another Mexican table service, with entrees we tend to enjoy even more than the ones at the indoor San Angel dining room. La Cantina de San Angel is that covered outdoor quick service location that's attached to La Hacienda, and Choza de Margarita, where you can find more grab-and-go margarita options that admittedly are not quite as good as La Cava, since this place doesn't have as big of a marg variety and the options are pre-made, but still a solid choice if you're looking to order some substantial savory snacks to go along with your boozy drinks like street tacos and tostados and elote. Now, depending on when you visit the Mexico Pavilion, you might also get the pleasure of hearing live music like Mariachi Cobre or Marimba de las Americas, and those perform right outside La Hacienda. They may even dedicate a song to you if they see you wearing those free celebration buttons that you can sport on your birthday or honeymoon or other momentous lifetime occasion. And I must say, whenever a new EPCOT festival kicks off, we're usually more than impressed with whatever the Mexico Pavilion comes up with in honor of the fest. Not only do they usually keep things fresh by offering brand new stuff for nearly every festival that comes around, but the stuff they do offer tends to wind up on our best of the fest lists that get featured on both our YouTube channel and DFB website. Oh, and let's not forget, Donald has a rather popular meet and greet opportunity that you can experience here, but this isn't just Donald in his usual sailor hat. This is Three Caballeros Donald, who is sporting his sombrero and colorful serape. While the Mexico Pavilion can get a bit crowded at times, especially when you're busy navigating around the La Cava line, this World Showcase country really stands out against the others when it comes to its various food and drink options, cozy little boat ride, live music, and unique night market-inspired shops. And air conditioning. Can't forget the air conditioning. And now, the pavilion that gets our number one spot today, the France Pavilion. Yep, this one really has it all. It's got multiple unique gift shops, delicious snack locations where you can pick up fun and different ice cream treats and pastries, reliable and affordable grab-and-go food stops, must-try cocktails, a state-of-the-art trackless dark ride, a theater that switches between a Beauty and the Beast sing-along and the Impressions de France show, and multiple table service locations that fit different dining budgets, from the more affordable La Crêperie de Paris to the middle ground of Chefs de France to the real high-end Monsieur Paul. The France Pavilion is also steps away from Epcot's International Gateway. It's the back entrance of the park, meaning it's very easy to rope drop it if you're coming from the Skyliner station or you're walking over from one of the Epcot area resorts like Boardwalk, Yacht and Beach, or even the Marriott-owned Swan and Dolphin hotels. Am I saying this pavilion is flawless? No. Lay-all seating can be sparse, there are mixed reviews when it comes to La Crêperie, and some locations can get really packed since the indoor shops and snacking areas aren't huge. That being said, France packs a lot of experiences into their pavilion, making it feel like you've had a full day in the World Showcase just by visiting this country alone. Oh, and just as the icing sprinkles gravy and cherries on top of everything else, the France Pavilion also has consistently good and unique food options that they serve up during their festivals. So let's give this pavilion another gold star and round of applause for being today's DFB Pavilion winner. So thank you guys for asking for this video. It was really fun to do, and I'm sure there are some countries you'd move around, so let us know in the comments. Which EPCOT pavilion, either based on personal experience or from what you've seen and heard about in today's video, would you put at the top of your World Showcase ranking list? Don't forget to check out our other EPCOT videos too on this channel, like our Ultimate Guide to EPCOT Food, and be sure to pick up that free Drinking Around the World map over at disneyfoodblog.com/worlddrinks today. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.